Right, of course. Well, that's a very important question. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me and having me here. It's a pleasure for me to say hello to everybody and to meet people is one of the things that I love. So, what is important to know about eXp Mexico? It's one of a kind in our country, and it is certainly breaking some barriers that we, as an industry, used to have here in Mexico. As you know, uh, Mexico it's a country where real estate is not regulated, right? So Mexican agents in general, we tend to do business on a very traditional way. So this is a great opportunity for real estate agents in our country to implement and learn and run these new models and systems to be able to build a scalable business, right? And at the same time, being offered the possibility of really building an empire with the stock option plan and you know the rewards and of course a revenue share program. You know, this is just amazing. It's a great opportunity for everybody here in our country.
Perfect.
Yes.
So thank you so much for talking about us. We have Marcus in here now, and I know that Alex, you might have some questions that were already thrown at you that we could ask Ismael to, and I hope I'm saying your name right too. I didn't even ask that.
That is correct. That is correct.
Perfect. So Alex, can you throw some questions out there, and then Anna, I'm sorry, you two, any questions you guys have, this is like where we get them answered. He is the managing broker. There is like, he will know everything that you guys can possibly want to know about your journey and the impact that will be made with eXp and switching to eXp.
Right.
Or at least I will try to answer.
I'm putting the pressure on. I'm putting the pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like the difference between Mexico and US as far as like the commissions. I mean, I know the commissions like 80-20, but as
Right.
far as like the marketing, or do you have like groups like in the US, like certain teams? You know, do you have that?
Right. We do have teams as well, and the model does not differ a lot from what we know in what you guys have in the States. There is some fundamental difference. For example, over here it's not 80-20, it's 75-25. You know, revenue share goes exactly the same, works exactly the same out of the 20%. That 5% is like a buffer to protect ourselves against, you know, exchange rates with a dollar and peso and stuff like that.
Okay.
We have a transaction fee that's equal to the 5%. It's not like a you know, like a standard fee. It's just 5% of the GCI, for example. Of course, this transaction fee has a maxed amount of 15,000 pesos. So agents will never pay more than 15,000 pesos per transaction and a transaction fee. You know, the stock awards works exactly the same. You know, when you do your first transaction in a year, when you reach cap, when one of your downlines does their first transactions. So it mainly, aside from that, you know, the cap over here is 250,000 pesos. That it is like $12,500.
Oh.
And aside from that, yes, it's a little cheaper. But aside from that, it's basically the same. We do have some limitations. For example, we can't use KV Core because KV Core does not work outside of the US. You know, KV Core is connected to the MLS, and we don't have an MLS here. But we have a very robust, and I'd like to think it's a great and unique platform that's called REP. It stands for Real Estate Platform. Very, very interesting. REP, and this platform is an end-to-end program, you know, from a CRM, you know, listing management software, listing distribution, and you can do your marketing campaigns through their email campaigns and corporation management. So it is very interesting.
So can I piggyback if nobody else has any questions? Because I have
Yes,
lots.
please. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to think like about questions that team leaders and broker owners that I've encountered would have for you guys. So you answered one of them, the cap, 12,500. US
Right.
dollars, 250,000 pesos.
That's
With
correct.
that, how does it work with iconing? Does Mexico have the icon program? And if
Yes.
so, how's that work?
Okay, to be able to reach cap at a 25%, of course, you have to do 1 million pesos in GCI. So this is around $50,000. So to achieve icon, you have to do 4 million pesos in GCI, and that's the way you achieve icon. So produce 4 times the amount that you need to be a capper. So we do have like a minimum 30 transaction standard as well to be able to reach cap.
Perfect. And so, like,
To reach icon.
right.
Yes.
So what in the US, obviously, when you cap at 16,000, it's a $250 transaction fee, which roughly adds up to 20 transactions, basically. So for you guys, it's approximately 30 transactions. So that
Yes.
that fee is a little bit less US dollars
Correct.
than it is in the US. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Do you guys have, and I love this, I love learning, sorry. Do you guys have, like here in the US, if we're gonna operate teams, we have 3 different ways that we could operate teams. And depending on which way you decide to operate and which way the team volume falls, that's where you're gonna go. Do you guys have that different standard, or what for team leaders and broker owners?
Right.
You as a managing broker, what would they need to know?
Well, that is a very good question. We do have a teams and brokerage model, but it is an international model. It was built for global. So what we're doing right now is that we're meeting one-on-one with the team owners and the team leaders to find out how we can adapt and build like a tailored suit for them. Of course, we have our general rules. A team member gets 50% discount on a cap. It goes half cap. That's 125,000 pesos, which would be like 6,750, $6,250 for a cap, and stuff like this. Very general, but what it is very important about this is that, again, because our industry here is not regulated, there's a huge difference between how a team does his business and how the other one does it. Even in the same city, we have very different kind of teams and groups. It is very different because we all do things differently. So what I'm doing is that I'm getting involved with team leaders and team owners and do like a very brief, needs analysis, consultation with them to find their production level and how many agents are how many agents they are, how many units closed, and another things, to find out what is the best way we can bring value to them, right?
Right.
Because here in Mexico, you're going to find a lot of huge teams, very unproductive teams. That's something that just happens. Right. You're
that
going to have
in the US too.
All right.
That is a global problem, not a Mexico problem. So with you guys not having an MLS, how I look at that and I'm like, hey, that's awesome. So I know, like here, if we didn't have an MLS, what we would hear is I should go and join such and such brokerage because they're the largest and I'm going to have access to the most listings with them. Is it like that in Mexico with you guys not having an MLS?
Well, kind of. Each company have their own websites, and that is available to everybody. If I go to this brokerage website, I can see every listing and the other one and the other one and the other one. And we do have some listing distribution websites where agents pay to be able to post their inventory over their listings, and buyers come in and they generate you leads, and also real estate agents go in there. So yes, we don't have like a standardized MLS, but we do have a lot of ways on how to find out who is the broker that has the house next door, you know? So yes.
Awesome. And then rep. You talked about rep a little bit, and
Right.
I was as a team leader here in the US, I would have my own rep, which is KB4, and I would get all the leads in that system, and I would distribute them to the team members. Does rep work similar to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mexican agents pay eXp 1,000 peso fee, a monthly fee. That's $50. And with this, they get unlimited access to Force Rep, and Rep automatically sends the listings to these websites that I'm speaking about. You know, Viva Anuncios, En La Moody, and Inmuebles 24. Just for you to know, if an agent wants to hire a package to be able to be in Viva Anuncios, that's one of the big, the huge ones that cost up to, well, not up to, it could be higher, but average 30,000 pesos a year, plus 30,000 pesos for La Moody and 30,000 pesos for Inmuebles 24. So if you have only just those three, you have to spend 90,000 pesos a year to be able to be in this, and you're limited with the amount of listings that you have.
Right.
So with Rep, you pay 1,000 pesos a month. That's 12,000 pesos. It's like 15%, and you get the same, and it is unlimited. You can put, if you have 1,000 listings, you put 1,000 listings in Rep, and it goes to everywhere.
That's perfect.
And Rep receives the leads from these websites, of course, and the leads from the eXp Mexico website as well. We have a marketing and agency that is building a strategy to bring our website to the top places, of course, and Google and stuff, you know. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
we agents will receive these leads through Rep, and they can distribute to team members as well.
So, and those are leads that come in from their listings and that you guys have organically, and then the leads come in, and so you're distributing them out. That's awesome.
Correct.
So I know that listings are gold for me for lead generation, right? So if it's my listing and a lead comes in on my listing, does that automatically go to me, or does it round robin to all eXp?
No, it goes to you. It goes to you. Of course, it goes to you.
Perfect.
It's your listing. It's your lead.
Okay. And then, so are there any for team owners? We know that it's 1,000 pesos a month. So for team owners and brokerage owners, with the agents coming on under them, those agents are still paying that 1,000 too, but they have the option for a half cap, right?
Well, this is where the one-on-one meetings come in, because maybe in a meeting I would find out that we need to do like a special consideration with that 1,000 pesos for their agents because they're not productive enough to pay 1,000 pesos a month. So this is where this strategy and transition plan comes in, to make sure we are helping them instead of just costing them money, you know?
Right.
So.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the agents that you're bringing on right now really have a voice in shaping exactly the way eXp Mexico is going.
Right.
Which is awesome. And it seems like even though they're joining in I call them the baby stages, that they have a chance to be like, for the United States, Brent Gove is like one of the beginning pioneers, right? And so you're one of the beginning pioneers for Mexico, and Adam Day is for the UK. And so these agents coming in from Mexico can really shape exactly what's happening with how you guys innovate our core values, right?
Right. So one of the great things is that this is the first digital platform. So like this, we're in the entire country, right?
Right.
So I understand, you know, real estate is a hyper-local business. So it's very different because it's not standardized across the country. It's very different how it is in Los Cabos and how it is in Cancun and Guadalajara and Querétaro. So I would be silly if I think I have the capability of shaping everything for every market. So the details on how do those policies and how to, you know, work correctly and properly to be able to adapt to each market, it's going to depend on the agent. So what we're doing is that we're building like this local councils, so they make the decisions, right? So
Right.
I don't want to be the one who makes the decisions. I want this company to be agent built. You know, it's their company. You know,
yeah, you're an agent owner. Let's give you a place, and you guys tell us where we need to go.
Exactly.
So, taking it down a little bit, with everything that you guys are offering, it sounds like Rep is amazing. I'm like, can we get Rep instead of KV4? I love KV4, so I'm like, Rep is awesome. With the agents that are coming on board in the newer stages, I know that we have the agent equity program. You take 5% of a commission and you can purchase stock at a discount. 10%. So it's exactly the same. So they can
exactly the same.
Perfect.
Right.
Is your platform still eXp Enterprise? That's like their cockpit where they go to see everything, right?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
And then like we have SkySlope for transaction management and electronic signatures. Is that the same in Mexico, or do you guys use a different platform?
It is a transaction management software that it is built in Rep.
Okay.
So Rep will have this module for electronic signatures and, you know, exactly, well, very similar to SkySlope, but within Rep. So it is kind of cool that it is one technology, just one platform.
Yeah, it is.
You have your listings, your transactions, your client, your marketing, you have everything in there.
All right, awesome.
So yes, this is a huge deal. You know, there's nothing like this in Mexico. You know, of course, agents can buy SkySlope or KV Core or HubSpot or Brevity or whatever, but all of these are, you know, US software that we have to pay in dollars, and for us it's really expensive to be able to have these CRMs. So at 1,000 pesos a month, it is a great value proposition. Yes, yes.
So with Rep, and I'm just brainstorming here, do the agents that are coming on board have their own website that's just theirs for branding?
Yes and no. Well, yes, but not yet. So right now they do have their own mini site within the eXp Mexico website, right? I am talking with a couple of marketing providers so they can build a template for agents to be able to have their own websites that pulls information from Rep. So I have two providers right now that are giving me some proposals, and this is going to be included in the 1,000 pesos as well.
Perfect. And then,
but I don't have it ready yet.
It's all right. It's coming. We know you're going to do it. It's okay.
Yes.
For branding, I know obviously laws are different. Everything is different. Do they have the ability for their own personal branding? So their logos, as long as eXp is with it. Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
All right, Alex and Marcus, I have dominated this conversation. So I really
you're doing good.
You guys to jump in with any questions. Same for everybody on this call. This is our time to ask very specific questions that you are wondering about. I try to cover everything I can to know the differences, but of course I'm only one person, and I know I'm going to get off this call and think of 10 other questions. So Ismael,
just email them to me.
Blow up.
Yeah, you can just email the questions, and I can keep answering them.
Wonderful.
Sure.
Well, guys, do you have any questions that maybe I didn't cover that should be covered?
Yeah, I mean, just again, how much, you know, in the US is we pay $85 for the monthly fee. How much is it in Mexico?
$50 or it's 1,000 pesos.
1,000
pesos.
$50 is equivalent to 1,000 pesos.
Right. $50 is 1,000 pesos. The dollar is around 20 pesos right now, so $50 is 1,000 pesos.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So just to recap, if you are doing 1 million pesos, you are a capping agent. And if you're doing 4 million pesos, you're going to icon.
Exactly.
So that's beautiful. And then just to reiterate, the cap there is 250,000 pesos, which is about 12,500 US dollars. I've been taking some notes.
Good.
Awesome.
So something important for you to know, give you a little context. There's a lot of difference. But one of the important difference between a Mexican agent and a U.S. agent is that for us, this is new, right? U.S. agents have heard about this kind of platforms and companies in a cap. What is a cap? 35 years ago when Keller Williams started with this kind of, you have Compass and Zillow and everything is so advanced. So when we say an agent, we have a cap. In Mexico, most of the times they don't know what that is and how it works and how it looks. And we're a platform, like, what? So this is important because the only other company that does something pretty similar, but of course this is a lot better, it's KW Mexico, and they've been around 5 years, and they're only in 20 cities in the country. So I would suggest for you to spend a little bit more time explaining about the benefits of a cap and how they can reach that cap, and then that's it, because we are used to have a 50-50 split. That's the traditional brokerage fee. Sorry, to be on a brokerage.
Right.
Yes.
And so from
the cap. The cap in Mexico. Don't worry. One of the first challenges that I had when I started was to setting up a cap, an amount. So why? Because we have very, 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 very different markets. So 250,000 pesos a year is nothing for an agent in Los Cabos, for example. That they have an average price of $1 million, $1.5 million. But 250,000 could be a lot for an agent in, let's say, Torreon or smaller cities with little or average prices, So I would suggest to find out where are they at, because to reach cap for an agent in Los Cabos, they can do it in 2 or 3 sales, and somebody in San Luis Potosí, it could take up to 12 or 15 sales. So that's something important to take into consideration. I'm sorry, can I have 1 minute?
Yes, take your time. Take your time.
Oh, I'm done. Okay. I don't know who's calling me like repetitively, but they
really want to talk to you. It was like me the other day messaging you. So I think that's amazing. From what I'm hearing, like agents in Mexico, no matter whether they're in Los Cabos or a smaller area of Mexico, they're automatically going to get a pay raise, whether they cap or not. But then they're going to have some marketing tools to help push their production. So even though they might not be a capping right now, we're going to give them the tools to get them there, hopefully. Correct. With training and support, do you guys, like, obviously we have training and support. I know you guys do a lot in the virtual office. Yes. You guys have training and support, correct? Correct. Well, Mexican agents are going to have the same access as US agents to English training, of course, in other countries. But we will have, and we are having already, our own trainings and support in Spanish. Perfect. So we have the best of both worlds. Mexican agents that can speak English could go to US trainings, of course, and Canada and England and Australia trainings, But for those that don't speak English, we will have our own Spanish. In Spanish. That's perfect. Correct. Do you mentioned that Keller Williams is only in 20 cities. How is that different with eXp? Are we in, since you don't have are we in every city in Mexico, or are we working on it? We are in the entire country, Yes. And so I think that's important, because if you guys have the entire country, that means that the agents that are aligned with eXp Mexico are not bound by these little areas. Everything is going to work in conjunction for that one cap. How do referrals work? Do referrals go towards the cap as well? Yes, of course. We are setting up like a standard 25% of the referred side. So if you refer a buyer, you would get 25% out of the buyer commission. And it is all managed through Rep as well. So in the corporation management, in Rep, you have a corporation management module,
that you can just go in and look for an agent in one state or city, and you can send it the request through there. So it is kind of fun.
So I know that, like, for instance, Alex, he was from Puerto Rico and then he moved to Vero Beach, Florida. If we have agents and team leaders and broker owners that are right on the border, right, and they're closing, they're dual licensed and they're closing deals in both countries, that's going to all go towards a cap, or they're different caps?
Okay, within the country, just one cap.
Okay.
For dual countries, we don't know yet. The team is working to set up the standards on how is that going to work for agents that are selling in Mexico and in the States as well. So I don't have the answer yet, but Michael Valdez, president of Global, said on a webinar this last Tuesday that he's going to have that answer next week. So
perfect.
Let's see.
Awesome. So we're coming up with solutions, and that's very important because we are being agile. I'm all about our core values, guys. So I honestly, I am blown away. It sounds like Mexico is just, it's going to be amazing. And I do want to point out that we were the baby stage at first, where nobody had heard of us here in the US too. And boy, those people that were very, very forward thinking like you, they are so happy they made that switch early on now. It's unreal. And I want to thank you for taking the time tonight.
No, don't worry.
I'm a U.S. agent. There's no reason for you to come on here and answer all my questions and help us out.
It's our pleasure. It's my pleasure.
We're all one brokerage. And
that's correct.
Wonderful. So guys, if nobody else has questions, I'll go ahead. Marcus.
Yeah, sorry. Ismael, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. I've got a couple friends on, and so I had a couple really quick questions, and then we'll let you guys go. For the Spanish-speaking population, right? So
yes.
Lily is on, and I think she may have been expecting it to be in Spanish or have at least some part of this that's in Spanish. And so just to kind of cover that, is there, because I guess I got two questions. One is there a way that we can communicate the features and benefits and value add for these agents in Spanish so that we can really communicate it properly?
Of course. If you guys, for example, like organize a second webinar for, I don't know, if you gather a group of 5 or 10 or 3 agents wants this information in Spanish, it could be me, it could be some of my team, but we will be happy to assist you on that. Yes.
Absolutely.
That'd be excellent. And if you wouldn't mind letting Lily know that in Spanish, because I'm not sure if she understands.
Yes, of course. Hola Lili, ¿cómo estás? Por ahí si nos estás escuchando. Estamos platicando acerca de hacer este tipo de entrenamientos o pláticas en español. Y le comentaba yo aquí a Marcus que con mucho gusto podemos hacer una segunda llamada para hacerla completamente en español. ¿verdad? También, Ana Paula, ¿ustedes de dónde son? Platíquenme.
Fantastic. And if she has any questions.
One second, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Lili, ¿de dónde eres?
Hola, ¿cómo están?
Hola,
disculpen que entré tarde.
No te preocupes.
No domino el inglés, para mí sí es es problema esto. Yo vivo en Cancún, en México.
Muy bien, perfecto. Ajá. Sí, Lili, no te preocupes, mira, aquí en eXp todo es en español. Obviamente tenemos entrenamientos en español, todos en español. Aquí, particularmente esta llamada, pues empezamos aquí a hablar inglés para los agentes de Estados Unidos, pero planeamos una segunda conversación que sea 100% en español para que entonces no tengamos ningún problema de interpretación, ¿me parece? Pero con muchísimo gusto, Lili, será un placer pues conocerte más a fondo y ver si podemos hacer equipo antes, darte la bienvenida y que seas parte de la familia. Será un gusto para nosotros.
Igual para mí saber más acerca de a lo que se dedica el concepto y bueno, claro, estoy abierta para poder escuchar. Entonces, ahorita yo, o sea, supongo que va a seguir siendo en inglés y sí, entonces tú me mandarías información para que yo pueda claro, incorporarme cuando ya la programes.
Claro, Marcus ¿tiene tu teléfono o tu contacto?
Sí,
¿me lo pudiera? ¿Se lo pido a él? Perfecto.
Por favor, ¿sí?
Sí, yo se lo
Ok,
pido a
pues
él y nos ponemos en contacto contigo también por si quisieras tener una llamada uno a uno con alguien de mi equipo. Y ahí le podemos hacer todas las preguntas y podemos empezar por ahí, ¿sale?
bueno, sí, por favor, agradezco que tengan un excelente día y bendiciones.
Igualmente, bendiciones y un abrazo, que estés muy bien hasta
Chao,
Cancún.
chao.
Yeah.
Bye, bye, gracias. Chao, chao.
Good, good.
Yes. Hey, Marcus, if you could share with me Lily's contact information, we can get in touch with her personally, myself or somebody from my team, and we can help her through. All right?
Excellent. That'd be great. So that's good. So hey, my other friend is back. So here's what I wanted to ask to that effect. So when we were in Charlotte, we started out with 6 people, and we did lunch and learns where we grew just the city of Charlotte to, I think we're around 1,000 people now.
Wow.
just in Charlotte, just in the city of Charlotte. So what I'd like to do, and this is what I want to talk to Alex and Castro and anybody else, you know, who's interested, Fanny, everybody else who's here, you know, and I want to, so 2 questions. I want to talk about how to possibly duplicate what we already know works with some leaders in that area where we can have not just a place of gathering where, let's say, you know, Castro and maybe some other people get together and work together to help us build, and really do something special and exciting and powerful in this area that's so in need of this model. But also,
Yes.
what do we do in regards to like with Lily, for example? We can't communicate, but I want to make sure that she's a contact through a friend of mine who actually is a basketball player in Mexico. And so how do I, how can I communicate? Obviously I got her on the call, you know, but I did that through a translator, right? An app translator on my phone. And so how do is there a way, or do we need to develop something that's kind of like the eXp Explained that we have here in the States?
Yes.
Like Fanny was on one, I hope I'm saying that right. She was on one that she saw the entire presentation that we did on Wednesday. And she said, hey, I want to come on to this call. I want to talk to my boss about it. We're in a serious period where we're considering growth. She and her boss, they sound like the perfect candidate for this opportunity.
Of course.
How do we get them to say, hey, here's how we can help you guys reach your goals?
Well, it's really easy. Of course, we're gonna have videos and presentation and eXp Explained in Spanish and everything. But it would be much easier if you just send like the contact information, and we can do everything. Yes, myself or what? Yeah, somebody from my team. We're gonna have like recruiters, like full-time recruiters that's specializing on doing presentations as well, so we can help you with that as well.
Okay.
Perfect.
All
Awesome.
right.
Any questions on your side?
Not really. No.
Well, I am very thankful for everybody that joined this call tonight.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to do my best. I have some video people, so I'm going to try and get everything on this call put into Spanish captions. That way, if we need to send it out to anybody in the near future, we can. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this organization with all of you, and then everybody that jumped on this call to learn more as well. So thank you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Alexis.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you all.
Connect you guys as well. Have a great night.